Hello, everyone, and welcome to the third and final day of the 5th annual Vallejo Healthy Food Festival. My name is Erica Hazel, and I am the Vallejo community organizer. We have an amazing program in store for you today, and we are so excited to have you here. Please know that subtitles will be available 1 week after each of our events, along with the live recording of today's event being available in both English and Spanish subtitles. This year, we have moved our event online due to the COVID-19 pandemic that has affected all of our communities. It is our sincerest hope that you and your family are staying healthy and safe during this time. For our 5th year hosting the Vallejo Healthy Food Festival, we wanted to adapt the event to this virtual platform so that everyone could still join us. Last week, we started the event around a special theme of home and hearth, and today we have created a schedule filled with exciting cooking demos, interviews, and performances, all celebrating the diversity and culture of Vallejo. The theme for our final week of the festival is Happy, Healthy Communities. To celebrate our theme for today, let's start by giving gratitude to the communities that we call home and where we gather for celebrations. Today, we will learn the importance of our food choices, hear about the importance of youth being active in their communities, and we're beyond excited to have Chef Chu join us for his 4th year to teach us how to make some delicious vegan soul food. On top of all that, we have Dr. Melissa Mandala here to teach you more about a plant-based diet and answer any questions you have live. Finally, you'll enjoy an amazing performance by Chef Sarah and friends, along with a special Vallejo community message. At the end of today's program, we will respond to all the questions you have for us. And as a reminder, you can send us questions throughout the event. Please use the Q&A box located at the bottom of your screen, and we will respond to them during the Q&A session. We are also pleased to announce that if you are one of the first 16 participants who is a Vallejo resident, we'll be giving you a free vegan cookbook. To make sure you can receive your cookbook, please make sure you have filled out the survey using the link shared in the chat box. But before we get started, I want to introduce you to our organization behind this amazing festival, Food Empowerment Project, or FEP for short. FEP is a registered nonprofit 501c3 that promotes veganism, fights for farm workers, works on the lack of access to healthy foods in Black and Brown communities, and encourages people not to buy chocolate sourced from some of the worst forms of child labor. The upcoming video will introduce you to our work and our hope for our planet and its inhabitants to better understand the connections between people, non-human animals, and our environment. Now, please give a warm welcome to Food Empowerment Project and welcome them into your home.
Food is power. Our food system is a huge interconnected web stretching across the globe. It links fields to factories, human animals to non-human animals, workers to corporations. When we choose what to have for dinner, we're not just choosing what to eat. We're also choosing whether or not to support the industries that put the food on our plates. That's a lot of responsibility, but it's a lot of power too. For those of us who are able to make informed, ethical food choices, we can make a real difference in the lives of humans, non-human animals, and the earth. At Food Empowerment Project, or FEP, we believe that our food choices can change the world, and we want to show you how. The most incredible thing our food choices can do is reduce the amount of suffering in the world. How? Well, each year, tens of billions of non-human animals are exploited in our food production systems. Each one of them is an individual who is aware of their own existence, feels pleasure and pain, and wants to be safe and free. They are confined, separated from their families, mutilated, and killed. Our food choices can reduce the amount of suffering of non-human animals when cutting out meat, dairy, and other animal products. FEP promotes ethical veganism, encouraging people not to contribute to the exploitation and suffering of animals, both human and non-human. Our website is full of information to help people understand the power of their food choices and learn how these choices can impact non-human animals, from chickens and rabbits to fishes and other sea creatures. And it also includes some recipes and meal ideas. To support this further, Food Empowerment Project has created 2 vegan websites, one featuring delicious Mexican food in English and Spanish, and one with amazing Filipinx recipes in English and Tagalog, to help people go and stay vegan. So, ethical veganism is important, but not everybody can get the kind of food they need for a healthy plant-based diet. If we want people to eat more fruits and vegetables, we need to make sure that all people have access to fresh, affordable produce. In Black and Brown communities and in low-income neighborhoods, access to fresh fruit and vegetables is often limited or non-existent. It is vital that we acknowledge the ways that racism and economic disadvantage prevent marginalized communities from being able to access healthier food. When invited, FEP makes an assessment on the availability of healthy foods and begins to work with local communities, policymakers, and community organizations. We then convene focus groups to determine the barriers seen and experienced by the community to help create solutions that will benefit the health of individuals over corporations. But we can't stop there. We want to get fresh produce on more shelves and on more plates. And those fruits and vegetables have to come from somewhere. We want people to think about the ways their food choices can reduce the suffering of non-human animals in our food system. But what about the humans in that system? Farm workers are some of the most vulnerable and exploited workers in the United States. They often work long hours in extreme heat, are exposed to agricultural chemicals, and many experience homelessness due to their low wages or wage theft. Also, many are migrant or undocumented workers who are threatened with deportation if they speak up, which leaves them vulnerable to a variety of abuses. In addition, female farm workers experience sexual harassment on a regular basis. We advocate for improvements to farm worker rights at corporate, legislative, and regulatory levels. In 2018, we helped overturn a rule that had forced the families of farm workers to move at least 50 miles away from the migrant camps when picking season was over, a regulation that negatively impacted their children's education. This victory meant that their children could now finish their school year without having to move. On a grassroots level, FEP organizes a school supply drive for the children of farm workers to help ensure these kids are offered all the opportunities that come with an education, something their parents have sacrificed so much for so that they might have opportunities previous generations may not have had. The fight for farm workers' rights doesn't end at the borders of the United States. We have a responsibility to the people who supply us with our food, even when they're on the other side of the world. Some of the worst human rights abuses in our food system happen in the supply chain for that confection we all love so much, chocolate. The chocolate industry gets much of its key ingredient, cacao, from areas where the worst forms of child labor and slavery are most prevalent. Children as young as 7 work long hours using dangerous equipment, and in some cases are not allowed to leave the farms they work on, and are beaten and sometimes not seen again if they try to flee. They go through all this just to make candy for us to eat halfway around the world. By informing people where their chocolate comes from, we can create transparency to help people eat with their ethics. On our website, Food Empowerment Project has a list of chocolate companies to let consumers know which companies we do and do not recommend based on the country of origin for their cacao. And we even have a free downloadable app to make it easy for those who have a smartphone. Be sure to look out for our mascot, Chavez, to see which chocolates we recommend. Our food choices are powerful. That means people are powerful. and that means you are powerful. Food Empowerment Project is about showing people just how much power their food choices hold. We want everybody to understand how much good their food choices can do, how much suffering we can stop. But we understand that making the world more just and equal is not a simple task. We can't just think about humans or just non-human animals or just the earth. We have to understand the way that these things are interconnected and the complicated systems they create. Together, we can help each other understand the whole picture. Then, we can work toward a better world. Remember, food is power. Use it with compassion.
Thank you so much for spending time to learn more about Food Empowerment Project and our work. We hope this helps you to better understand our organization and our connections to one another and to our planet. Next, we are happy to introduce you Genesis Butler. Genesis is a 13-year-old animal rights activist and vegan who went vegan on her own at the age of 6. After she discovered that the milk she was drinking came from cows, Genesis was committed to eliminating animal products from her diet. Some fun facts about Genesis include that she is one of the youngest TEDx Talk speakers in history when she gave her talk at 10 years old, and she recently became a Marvel superhero in an episode of the Disney Plus series Marvel Hero Project. The Marvel Hero Project show features real-life young heroes who make a difference in their communities, and Genesis was featured because of her work teaching others about animals and inspiring them to go vegan. Today, Genesis has earned numerous awards for her activism, including the Sir Paul McCartney Young Veg Advocate Award, and has been featured in several documentaries and food festivals. The activism of her great uncle Cesar Chavez has inspired Genesis to continue to fight against climate change and animal agriculture. Even though Genesis is very vocal and active in the animal rights movement, she is still a kid and loves playing football, singing, and spending time with her friends. It is with great pleasure to introduce to you Miss Genesis Butler as she and I discuss the importance of getting and staying active in our communities. Hello, everyone, and welcome. I am so excited to have the opportunity to interview the one and only Miss Genesis Butler. Hi, thank you so much for being here today.
Hi, thank you.
Awesome. We are so happy to have you here. And one of the main topics we want to talk with you about today is being a youth, a young person, and being an activist. So my first question is, when and why did you become an activist?
Yeah, after first, once I became vegan, that's when I figured out about how we had to kill animals for our food. So I was just devastated and I didn't want to eat it anymore.
Yeah.
And then after that, I started wondering what else I could do for the animals. So then I asked my mom and she did some research and then she figured out about activism, just like protests. So she told me that she can take me to one. And then it's my first protest, and after that, I knew I wanted to be an activist for the rest of my life. So that's how I got into activism.
That is amazing. So as, and you said you are 13, correct?
Mm-hmm.
As a teenager, as someone who's been active in activism since you were 6 years old, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So for the last 6-7 years, why do you think it's important, from your experience, why do you think it's important for kids to get active in their community and take action for their future and the future of others in their communities?
Yeah, I think it's really important for youth to get involved in activism and for them to become activists because our voices are really powerful and adults do listen to us. So when we start becoming activists, adults look at us and they're like, oh, well, if they can do it, then I can do it too. So it makes them want to become activists and start talking about what they feel passionate in. So it's really important for youth to talk about it because it will inspire others to want to do it too.
Most definitely. Thank you so much for that. That provides a lot of insights for adults to also listen to the ideas that kids have. So that was great. So looking forward, what are some simple, easy action items that kids can do from anywhere?
Yeah, they can do, well, since we're in quarantine, you can do like chalk art. You can put posters in your yard. You can at like the grocery store, if you see people looking at like regular milk, you're like, oh, you should try out oat milk. You can just go on social media and post pictures of vegan food and let friends and family know why they should try it too. So those are some simple things that we can do every single day that can make such a big impact that don't have to be in person.
Most definitely. I totally agree with that as well. That's how I became a vegan myself. So when you're speaking up for the things that you're passionate about, how did you overcome that publicity, like stage fright?
I think I started when I was like public speaking. I was 6 or 7 when I did that.
Yeah.
So I think since I started from like a young age, and I know how much of the animals have to go through, that this is just like the simplest thing that I can do for them, that I can help them. So I think that's how I just got over like being scared, and just like knowing like the animals go through so much. This is the least I can do for them.
That's amazing. So I kind of wanted to shift it a little bit, since you care so much about the animals and you want to not be a part of their suffering. What are some of your favorite foods?
Um, I like to eat vegan mac and cheese, and I still really like vegan chicken nuggets.
Yeah, I like those too. That's just me too. In your opinion, why is food justice or access to healthy food so important?
Yeah, I think it's really important for everyone to be able to eat healthy foods, um, because these are just the things that are good for us, and the things that we should all be able to access. Just like how we're able to go to grocery stores, it should be something that everyone should be able to eat. So I think that it's sad how some people live far away from grocery stores, or they don't have fresh fruits and vegetables at their grocery stores. I think that that's really sad, but I think now fresh fruits and vegetables are more accessible for people, because since in quarantine people have been like getting them more often, but yeah, I think it's really sad how some people aren't able to access it.
Yes, absolutely. And so, speaking about food justice and access to food, you have a very famous, huge activist of a relative. And so, I wonder if you could tell us a little bit about him, and any influence his work has had on your family and your stance on food justice and all, and yeah, what you do today.
Yeah, I think when like the main thing that really like helped me, knowing that he was my uncle, when I was like 7 or 8, that's when I really started to realize like who he was and everything that he did. Um, and then that's when like I watched the Cesar Chavez documentary, and then I would go to protests, and sometimes I get scared, and I remembered how he never backed down from his activism, and he knew what he was doing was right, so he never really got scared, and that really kept me going when I got scared at protests or anything like that.
Absolutely. Yeah. Cesar Chavez has done so much for so many communities. And I think it's so amazing as one of his descendants that you're continuing his work and to make him so proud.
Thank you.
Yeah. So going back to, Food Empowerment Project, and about Lauren's work as well, why should other folks support Food Empowerment's work for food justice, in your opinion?
I think that it's a really good organization, and that people should support it. Just because it's just, if we can get fresh fruits and vegetables, it's just like if we couldn't get it, I think that that's something that would be really sad for us. So it's really important to support them, because they're really fighting so that people can get fresh fruits and vegetables.
Absolutely. Now that you're an activist, you've been doing it for, almost 5 years now. What gives you hope for the future?
I think seeing how there's a lot of youth starting to talk about the planet is really giving me a lot of hope. I think over quarantine, the way that I really know this is, at first I didn't know how many activists that they were, that are youth, that are focusing on how animal agriculture is hurting the planet, because I think mostly what's talked about is like fossil fuels, which is harming the planet, but so is animal agriculture, so it's not talked about as much. So I started Youth Climate Save, and then we have 70 chapters now around the world. We have them in India, we have them in Dubai, we have them in the UK, we have them in Africa, we have them just all over the place now. So these are just youth that want to talk about our planet and how animal agriculture is harming it because it's not really brought up as much. So that's really like keeps me positive and keeps me much with hope is seeing how there's a lot of youth that are finally starting to use our voice to talk about this.
70 chapters. That is amazing. That is so excellent. That's fantastic. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day since you are out here saving the world for all of us and future generations. I sincerely appreciate it. Thank you so much. And you have an amazing day, all right?
Thank you.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Genesis, for sharing your ideas about the importance of young people getting involved in their communities. Together, we can all make a difference. Next, we are very excited to have Chef G.W. Chu here to join us for another fantastic cooking demonstration. G.W. Chu, aka Chef Chu, is the general manager of the Veg Hub in Oakland and has been a vegan food inventor, restaurateur for over 10 years. He is also the owner of Better Foods, a plant-based meat protein sold under the brand name Better Chew, whose slogan is changing lives for the better, one chew at a time. Each year, we have been able to host the Vallejo Healthy Food Fest in person. We have offered the community free vegan food, and from 2017 to 2019, Chef Chu made all of the food we serve for the community, and he has kept us entertained with cooking demos that were as delightful as the food was delicious. Today, Chef Chu is going to show us how to make some delicious vegan soul food, Southern style collard greens, and 3-cheese mac and cheese. We hope you all are as excited as we are hungry. So please join me in giving a warm welcome to Chef G.W. Chu.
Hey, it's your boy Chef Chu, and as I always say, gonna give you something to chew on. I'm excited. This is my 4th year at the Vallejo Healthy Food Fest, and I'm so honored to be able to share some goodness, some delicious food, something better, man, something better. Most of y'all know me again. Most people call me Chef Chu. My last name right here is actually C-H-E-W, and as I always say, gonna give you something to chew on. Well, man, look, we bringing something better, something good, something delicious. We're actually gonna be doing a cooking show, showing you guys how to make some delicious vegan soul food. That's right, delicious vegan soul food that's actually super affordable, easy to make, can be made in minutes. We're going to be actually making today our delicious 3-cheese mac and cheese. Come on, y'all got that? The 3-cheese mac and cheese. That's right. It's going to be really delicious, made with cashews and carrots. We got a few different cheeses. I'm using gluten-free noodles. I'm also going to be making a delicious soul food greens. Going to show you guys how to make a traditional country boy. I'm a country boy. I'm making a traditional Southern style greens. You're going to learn the secrets of how to make a delicious country style greens. So it's going to be a lot of fun today. So again, sit back, relax. I'm excited. They call me Chef Chu, and as I always say, going to give you something to chew on. Well, come on to my kitchen. I'm at home. Right here in my home kitchen. Again, I'm humble dwellings, but we want to bring a lot of love to you guys right here in my home. And you can kind of see we got a nice entourage. Got my stove tops ready to go. Got my stoves, got my pots on right here. Got my pots going. Got my water already boiling. I got my food over here behind me. So I got all my ingredients. I'm going to be taking y'all today. Some of y'all might not be familiar, but in the store, believe it or not, in 2020, there's about 15 to 20 vegan butters that you can actually find in stores today. You don't have to actually have any kind of dairy type butters. They got butters made with coconut, butters made with different types of oils. It's all types of different oils, plant-based butters you can choose from. Also, I'm going to use another ingredient, one of my favorite ingredients, Daya cheese. There's another plant-based cheese, a lot of plant-based cheeses on the market. So many out there that you can actually choose from. So definitely go out here, check out Diet Cheese. I got a friend of mine named Mayoko. She has a delicious cheese called Mayoko's Creamery. And this other BioLife chow cheese. There's so many different types of vegan cheeses on the market. But we're going to start off today making again, one of my fun, delicious recipes, my soul food greens. So let's see what we got. So right here I got some kale, got some nice, delicious kale right here. Oh man, I got that kale looking some kind of good. Come on, I got that nice curly kale. I got the purple curly kale and the green curly kale. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take my curly kale real quick, chop it up. I'm gonna chop it up. I like stems in my kale, so I don't know about you guys. I like to keep my stems in my kale. So I'm gonna go ahead and chop this up. Kind of can see there. All right, I'm keeping my stems now. Keeping my stems. I want some chew. You know what I'm saying? I like to keep my stems on it. So I want some of that chew in my greens. You know what I'm saying? Some of y'all might not like the stems. So if you don't like the stems, you can toss the stems. And I'm cutting my kale up right here, just cutting it all up. Okay, I'm gonna cut it up. And sometimes when I'm really in a rush, I might just break the kale myself. And I'll show you guys how you can do that too. Okay, you can actually just break the kale. Kale also breaks up really simply like that, right? You can just throw it inside the bowl. Again, I'm just breaking it up, just breaking my kale up. But I'm gonna go ahead and take my kale right here. I'm gonna go over here and put this in my water. Got my water already boiling. Y'all. All right, so here we go. Putting this kale right inside my stove right here. Come on. Don't get mad at me. Don't get mad at me. Don't get mad at me. I'm telling you, I'm gonna cook this down. It's gonna take about 10-15 minutes to cook down. I'm gonna let it cook down. Then what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna strain this in a little bit. But while I'm cooking this down, I'm gonna get some more kale on. I'm gonna cook all this kale, man. Y'all going for the journey today. I got my green, because I got a good mixture of that purple kale, and I got my green curly kale. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this on. All right. And the one thing, man, about this kale, you know, they say the blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice, man. I'm gonna say the greener the kale, the more delicious and nutritious it's gonna be. So the greener it is, the more nutrient dense it's gonna be. So kale, man, is great for all that good calcium, all the phytonutrients. If you think it's in it, it's probably in the kale. Kale is a superfood, y'all. Y'all don't realize it. Superfood. You can get this literally $2 a bunch. I mean, again, I got 2 bunches of $4. $4. And for real, you can feed a family with this. Probably not a family, because I eat the whole bowl myself. I don't know about y'all out there. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm gonna do, but see, look, the key to kale. So most people use collard greens. Where I'm from, they got mustard greens. I'm using kale, right? So most greens have a bitter taste to it. Again, if you think about the foods that we eat, you got bitter, you got sweet, you got sour. But a bitter, in order to get that bitterness from the actual greens, I'm going to sweeten it up a little bit, okay? I got something called Mr. Cabbage. Y'all like cabbage out there. I'm going to go ahead and get the cabbage going. So I'm going to turn my stove top on real fast. What we're going to do, we're going to saute the cabbage up. All right, we're going to saute the cabbage. We're going to get the sauteed cabbage up. And I'm going to start out, I'm going to give me some garlic. Notice how I call it garlic. You know, I don't say garlic. You know, I can't even say garlic. I say garlic. You know what I'm saying? Garlic. Country boy talk. That's what I'm talking about. A little bit of garlic here. You feel me? A little bit of garlic. I'm going to go ahead and chop this up right here. Come on now. Chop up some garlic. I'm going to throw some garlic on my cabbage. What I'm going to do, I'm going to saute my cabbage up, but I'm starting it off with a little bit of garlic. Y'all got that, y'all? I always like to say, you got to layer your flavors. You want them flavors to be layered. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and chop with some garlic. I don't want all the garlic to be all perfect. We ain't trying to get perfect garlic. All we want to do is just chop it up. Just a little bit, something a little chew on, you feel me? All right, so I'm going to go ahead and throw this garlic on the stove top right here. Going to get that up on here. Oh, yeah. All right, got my garlic on there right here. You come a little closer. Go ahead and let me see that garlic. And we're going to let this, it's not sizzling yet. It's going to take another few minutes for it to start sizzling. We're going to probably take about 2-3 minutes. But I got my garlic in there. And what I'm going to do while that's cooking, I'm going to clean up real quick. Let's clean my station up for a quick second. One thing I love to have is a clean kitchen, y'all. Mama always told me, said, you want that kitchen to be clean. Come on now, talk to me. That kitchen got to be clean. So I'm going to clean the kitchen up real quick. All right. Throw this up in here. Back in my stove top. Got all my greens in here. Everything's cooking real nice. All right, so what I'm going to do, come back over here with my cutting board. Rinse that off real quick. All right, there we go. Got a clean cutting board. I'm going to go ahead and cut my cabbage up. I'm going to do just like that. See, y'all ain't understand how easy this going to be. Now, cabbage costs about $3, maybe $2, depending on where you get it from. I'm going to cut out that core right here. Cut that core out, little triangle. Cut it out. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to simply just chop up my cabbage. Now, what I like to do, I like that nice fry. Look at that. Come on now. Yo, come on. Look how easy that is, y'all. Look at that. See, that's like that. Chop it up, nice thin pieces. It's already hearing the sizzle. I hear that sizzle and pop. You hear that sizzle pop, baby? Come on now. My wife's on the camera, y'all. Y'all don't know my wife. She cooks a lot better than me, actually. But anyway, she right there on the camera, holding it down for me on the camera. What do you think? Sounds good, baby? It's already starting to smell good, ain't it? Come on, talk to me. Come on, smelling good, ain't it? And look at that, y'all. We got that, ooh, come on. Ooh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Man, I'm always smelling that garlic. Come on, baby. Now, here we go. Throw the cabbage in. Got that garlic at the bottom. Now, what I want to do, I'm letting this garlic, I want the garlic kind of infused. I'm not going to mix this all in together. I want that garlic at the bottom, okay? And I want that flavor of that garlic to infuse inside of my cabbage. Y'all got that? I'm letting the flavor of the garlic to infuse in the cabbage. So I want y'all to follow that, right? So I'm going to throw some ingredients on top of this. I got one of my favorite ingredients. I got something called Bragg's liquid aminos. Bragg's liquid aminos. One of the best ingredients in the vegan kitchen. You got to get it. Most grocery stores carry this now. Obviously, health food stores carry this. But Bragg's liquid aminos. Okay, you can get it online, go on Amazon. You probably can find it on Amazon, any of those places. I'm going to infuse that with some Bragg's. Again, give a little bit more oil on top of my greens. Okay, like that. Another secret ingredient in my kitchen, I got my nutritional yeast flakes, flavored with a little salt. So take a little bit of nutritional yeast flakes, okay? Just like that, nutritional yeast flakes. I add a little salt into that mixture, give me a nice flavorful seasoning blend. And I'm going to go ahead and throw this on top of that, just like that. All that on there. Notice, I have not turned this shit. I want, again, what I'm trying to do, I want that flavor to start. I want all that flavor from that garlic to infuse inside my cabbage. As the cabbage is reducing, the water's coming out, it's being replaced with that garlic smell. It's going to be tasting some kind of delicious and some kind of good. Come on now. Look at that. Woo! Come on. There we go. Now I'm turning it a little bit. Now we're getting that flavor in there, y'all. All right. So boom. Got the cabbage, got the garlic. Go ahead and come close. I want them to see that nice cabbage garlic on that top of that thing. Come on, show me that, baby. There we go. Now we're talking. Now we're talking. All right, now we're talking. So we letting that cabbage and that garlic all up on there just coming real good. All right. Got that rocking. Got that going. Got my kale starting to cook right here. Got my kale on there, y'all. Come on. Now, what I'm going to do, the kale's going to cook down. I'm not going to keep the juice of the kale. Once this cooks down, I'm going to actually drain my kale, the water off. I'm going to infuse that in that with my cabbage. You're going to see how that's going to look. But while we're doing it, let this cook for a little bit. Let that go ahead and do what it do. We're going to go ahead and slide on over to the cheese sauce, okay? So go ahead, we're going to slide on over. We're going to make a nice scratch-made cashew cheese, okay? So right here, I got my carrots. Notice I make my cheese sauce. I use carrots that I boiled. Again, I want them soft. You can see how I can smush that up like that. Smush it up just like that. I got my carrots already boiled, right? You come down, you can see a little bit better. Come down and see my carrots. Just like that. Got them already cooked, skin and everything. I want the skin on it. I want all that flavor, all that nutrition inside of that, all that fiber, all that cinnamon. Then I got some cashews. Okay? Now, this cheese I'm making right here is going to make literally about 4 quarts of cheese, okay? I'm not going to make that much. I'm just going to do 1 cup of cashews to 1 cup of water. You're going to see how simple this is, okay? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and get my cashews and my carrots. So what I'm doing, I got my 1 cup of cashews, all right? 1 cup of cashews, like that. Boom, 1 cup of cashews, 1 cup of water. And what we're going to do is make a cashew cream, okay? 1 cup of cashews, 1 cup of water, bam. All right, we're going to put this on a blender. Got my blender on, like that. 1 cup of cashews, 1 cup of water, all right? Come on, slide over me. Got the cabbage going, looking good. Oh, my word, come on. Man, we having a good time today. Look at all, oh, my word. That cabbage and the man's gonna be some kind of good. This is the flavor right here, y'all. I got the Bragg's, I got the garlic, right? I got that garlic in that Bragg's liquid amino with that seasoning blend with the nutritional yeast flakes. Got my kale coming over here looking good, y'all. Come on, that kale looking good. Ooh, look at them kale right here. Oh my word, come on. Look at that kale right here. Mama gonna be proud of me today. Come on now. And I got a special ingredient. I ain't bring it out yet though. You know what I'm saying? They ain't ready for a special ingredient. You know what I'm saying? Now look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. It cut off by itself. They must do how it's coming. I mean, this thing must be. I don't know what's wrong with these blenders, man. These Mars blenders. They talk to them. They cut off by themselves. But look, it's ready to go. Got my cashew cream. Look at that. Cashew cream. Cashew cream. That's what I talk about. I'm gonna go ahead and get a little bowl real quick. I'm gonna put the cashew cream in the bowl. Got me a little bowl right here. Yeah, I got the kitchen looking good now, y'all. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Cashew cream. Look at that. Boom. Put it to the side. Now what I'm gonna do? Y'all gonna see how I make my cashew cheese. Yeah, my cashew cheese. Rinse that out real quick, y'all. All right. Rinse the blender out. I'm gonna turn down the cabbage. I don't want it to burn. I ain't forgot about it. But it's looking good though. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Come on. Look at that. Look at that, y'all. All right, got that flavor all up on that thing. I'm gonna turn it down now. I had it on high. I'm gonna turn it down to medium. All right, I want that to cook down. Got my greens on high still, okay? Now what I'm gonna do next? All right, got my 1 cup. Now I'm doing 1 cup of carrots. It's boiled carrots. 1 cup of boiled carrots, already boiled, y'all. Now I said 1 cup of boiled carrots. All right, boom. Gonna put that right here. All I want to do, enough water in here to get a puree. You just need a little bit of water here. I want the puree like baby food. That's all I'm trying to do. I want to turn it to a baby food texture, okay? Baby food texture. All right. Gonna rinse that off right here. Bam. All right. Here we go. Turn that on. That's it. That's it. All I'm doing is pureeing. You come on close over here. You don't mind? All right. All right. Got my baby food. Got my baby food. That's perfect. All right. I got 1 cup of carrot puree. Just like that. Okay. 1 cup of carrot puree is already inside of here. I'm going to go ahead and throw in my cashew cream. Just like that. Boom. All right. So I had the 1 cup of cashews, 1 cup of water, blended that. Then I got throw my carrots right in there with it. Got my 1 cup of carrots, and I got my my water to make the baby food puree. I'm gonna put it all together. I'm gonna add my seasoning next. Got my seasoning here. Gonna keep my greens going. Everything's looking good. Now, is it looking good, baby?
It looks delicious.
All right, so here we go. I'm gonna put 2 tablespoons of seasoning right up in that thing. And you all have the recipe. We have the recipes, everybody. So don't even worry about it. We have the recipes right there for you, so you can know how to make this. All right, here we go. Cashew cheese made in minutes. You can make this, man. You can put it on. I'm going to be using this in my mac and cheese. You can use it on nachos. You can use it inside on pizzas. Anything colorful like that, Velveeta style cheese, lasagnas, anything. You can make this cheese right in line. There we go. It's coming together for y'all. We'll put it all together. Look at that. Look at that. There we go. All right. Let that go. Probably takes about 1 minute, minute and a half. Want to blend real nice, okay? Now you didn't know orange and white makes yellow. You didn't know that, did you? Look at that. There we go. Turn on by itself again. I didn't even tell it to turn on. That thing just turned on by itself. These blenders got a mind of their own these days. Y'all see that right there, y'all? Look at that. Look at that. That cheese sauce ready to go, y'all. Ready to go. We're going to keep it going. I'm going to go ahead and put my water on for my noodles, okay? Put my water on for my noodles. And we're going to go ahead and do a few extra things while I'm doing this. I'm going to put my water on for my macaroni noodles. Today I got the gluten-free noodles, y'all. Gluten-free noodles, okay? Gluten-free noodles. All right, I'm going to put this water on right here. My greens are pretty much about done. Got my noodle, got my water on right there. All right, let me go ahead and get this greens. About to get that ready, y'all. All right, we're looking good, y'all. All right, so what I'm gonna do, the cabbage is ready, it's perfect. Nice and brown, caramelized, all that flavor, that garlic's all up in that thing. I can't be no better than that, okay? I got my cabbage, some of my greens here. Got my curly kale with the purple curly kale, okay? Now what we got right here, I'm gonna go ahead and bring some of this out. I'm gonna go ahead and let the water out. Not all of it, but almost all of it, okay? All right, so we'll let some of that water out. All right, cool. Leave a little bit of water in there. You kind of can see that. Got the greens looking real good. A little bit of water. Now, I don't want too much water. I want my flavor to stay all up in here. So what I'm going to do next, I'm going to go ahead now Put the cabbage. Y'all see that right there? Put that cabbage all up in here. Come on. All that cabbage. Come on. And this might be about to be mad at me today, boys. I'm about to be mad at me. Come on. Oh, yeah. All right, so what I'm going to do next? All right, so now what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and put this right here. All right. What we going to do right here? Come look at that. Get my flavor all up in there. Gotta look at that, baby. Look at that, y'all. Ooh, come on, put that camera up on that thing so they can see that. Oh, man. All that flavor's up in there, man. All right. Woo! Man, you trying to hold back. Let them see that stuff now. Let them see. So what I'm going to do, go ahead and put it on top of that. A little bit of oil. A little bit of oil. A little bit of oil. I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit more seasoning. Let me throw a little bit of that seasoning up on there. All right. I'm just using the seasoning and brags. Remember, nutritional yeast flakes, a little bit of salt, a little bit of brags up on that thing, just like that. I got my garlic in there already. Got my cabbage all smoked. Got one last special ingredient. Some of y'all might know about this right here. See, where I'm from, they call it the rice hickory smoke. Hickory smoke. Come on now, y'all. Look at that. Look at that right there. Put a little cap full, that's all I want. That's going to get that smoke flavor. Like that. Like that. And I got one more secret ingredient in my cabinet. Where is that? I gotta find it. Oh, I can't find it. Oh, here it is right here. Got the vegan bacon bits. Come on, y'all. Don't worry about it. The vegan bacon bits. Look at that. So that on there just like that. Little bacon bits. That little bacon flavor on that thing just like that. All right. Somebody about to be mad at me now. Throw that back up in here. Come on, y'all. All right, here we go. Got all that flavor in there now. Look at that. Woo! Somebody say dinner time. It's gonna be for my dinner tonight, y'all. Oh yeah. So I got all that flavor. See that garlic up on there? Got that smoked cabbage. That flavor is just right. All right, so what I'm gonna do, put this back on the stove top. Got all that going. Put that back on the stove top right there. Let that cook down a little bit. While all that's going. So that's gonna stay just like that. Now what I'm about to do, about to get ready for the mac and cheese. We already got the cheese sauce ready to go. Go ahead now. Rinse that off. I don't like making a lot of dishes, y'all. I'm rinse my dishes and let go. And what I'm gonna do, we're gonna make a special secret ingredient for our mac and cheese. My special secret ingredient for my mac and cheese, believe it or not, I actually make a cream of mushroom gravy. I make a gravy. If you don't like mushrooms, you have to do the mushrooms. But I like mushrooms on mine. But that mushroom gravy is gonna give that delicious creaminess to my mac and cheese. It's gonna be all delicious. I'm talking about it's about to be amazing, y'all. Y'all about to see what I'm talking about. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna start out with 1/3 cup of flour. 1/3 cup of flour, okay? Boom, 1/3 cup, just like that. Put that on my stove right here, just like that. Boom, 1/3 cup.
Does it matter if it's whole wheat, all-purpose, white flour?
You can use whatever you want. Whole wheat. I like whole wheat. I want mine to be whole wheat, but if you want to go with all purpose, it's fine. You can go whatever you want. But I got the whole wheat today, okay? So boom. So what I got right here, I got my 2 cups of flour. 2 cups of water. I'll put that right up in here, just like that. All right. So we're gonna let that go up in here. We got a whisk, baby. You got a whisk, guys? Come on, now we got a whisk. Talk to me. We got a whisk up in here. Baby, we ain't got no whisk. Oh, it's all good. We ain't got no whisk. I guess I probably took the whisk to my factory. I don't know how it is. Taking the food, taking the utensils out the house. It's all good though. We just gonna mix that up though. No whisk. You don't need a whisk. This gravy right here. Come on, let me see the gravy right now. This gravy right here is actually bulletproof. It's no lump gravy. You ever make gravy look like dumplings? Come on now. You ever make gravy and look like dumplings? But this gravy is this the no dump gravy. You know what I'm saying? No dumpling gravy. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be perfect and creamy every time. Okay. So what I'm gonna do right here, I got my gravy starting up, and what I'm gonna do right here, while I got that going, let that go right here. All right. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead down here. Give me a little small skillet for the backdrop. All right, just like back there. Now what I'm gonna do, give me some more garlic. I love me some garlic now. I'm gonna throw this up on here, the garlic right here. All right, gonna mix this up. That's a nice garlic mix. I'm about to saute me up some gravy. I'm gonna saute me up some mushrooms and some garlic for my gravy. It's about to be good, y'all. So I'm excited. So again, we got the greens on. Everything's looking good, y'all. Got my greens looking delicious. I got my cheese sauce already made. Got my water about to be boiling for my noodles. Okay, now I'm about to come on with my got me some fresh garlic. You know what I'm saying? I ain't even about to mince garlic. I got fresh garlic. You know what I'm saying? Actually, matter of fact, it's organic. I ain't even realize that was organic. They buying organic garlic. We done moved on up over here, y'all. Buying organic garlic? Come on now. Who buying organic garlic? You know what I'm saying? She went down, you went all the way down to Chico, where they grow the girl at somewhere. I don't know what to say to people like you.
Just for you, babe. Just
You know what I'm
for you.
saying? Look at that. Got my garlic looking good. All right, now look what we're gonna do, fam. Tell me gonna do it, y'all. I got my stove top on already.
I think we should turn this down.
Yeah, turn down a little bit. Thank you, appreciate it. All right, got that up on there just like that. Boom. Got the garlic on like that. Let that cook a little bit. You can take it. So let me see that garlic. About to see what we're doing back there. I'm about to mince me some mushrooms up. You can come over here real quick. So I got my mushrooms about to go. Okay. Got my mushrooms. Got my mushrooms about to go up on here. All right. So my gravy already looking good. Gravy already looking good. Okay. Got me some mushrooms. Gonna mince this up. I'm gonna turn my gravy down just a little bit. Turn my gravy down. It's already looking good. Gravy looking perfect. Look at that. I want you to see the gravy. See that? No long gravy. Look at that. No long. It's that simple. No long gravy. Gravy coming out perfect. I got it on low for right now. I got this on in the back. Got my garlic on there in the back. Throw a little more oil on there. I'm now about to put my mushrooms on here. Let that saute, caramelize a little bit. All right. All right. So again, this gravy can be used for anything, y'all. If you want to make a nice, some nice vegetarian meat, vegan meats. Throw a little gravy on, like a little a hamburger, vegan meat product, whatever one you like to use. We about to come out better too. We coming out with our own. Believe it or not, we coming out with our own vegan meatballs. You can go get the Better Chew meatballs and use that. Anything you want to do with it, y'all. You can put vegetables on top of it. Okay, anything. See, that's looking real good. I'm gonna throw this up on here, right here, on the back here. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Come on. All right. So what we're gonna do? We're gonna take a quick break, and we're gonna let this cook down just a little bit. We're gonna be right back in a few minutes. We're gonna have the noodles, put the noodles in, and we're gonna have the noodles ready to go. We're gonna have the gravy. We're gonna put the last ingredients for the gravy, and we're gonna wrap this thing up, put the mac and cheese together. Y'all gonna be excited. I got some super announcements I want to share with y'all. It's gonna be really amazing. Welcome back, man. I'm excited, man. The house smelling some kind of good. Come on now. Now check it out, y'all. I want y'all to see this real quick. Got my noodles right here. Noodles about done. Put my noodles on. Everybody know how to make mac noodles, right? About 7 minutes, light boil, you know what I'm saying? Ready to go. Got my greens, turning my greens off. I want y'all to see my greens. Got that, I got that pot liquor over here. I don't drink now, y'all, but I got the pot liquor right here. Gonna cut that off now. Been going for about 15, 20 minutes. Now right here, I got my gravy over here. Come over here, follow me now. I'm gonna go ahead and throw my gravy back on. I'm gonna go ahead and get everything I need in this way. I got my mushrooms, my garlic, everything's been sauteed. Now look at that, y'all. Look how good that looks. This is gonna be my secret ingredient. Come on now, my secret ingredient for my mac and cheese. For my mac and cheese. Now what I need right here, I got a little bit of milk. Add a little bit of milk. I want this thing to be nice and creamy. So I got some milk right here. Got some milk. All right, got me some milk. Just like that, a little bit of milk. Throw a little bit of butter now. Got me a little bit of butter. Talked about the butter earlier, y'all. A little bit of butter now. So give me a spoon right here. Got me a spoon right here. You know what I'm saying? Boom, little spoon, little butter right there. All right. Go ahead and mix this up. Excuse me that baby. Oh man, I can't wait. Come on, look at, oh my word. Come on. Look at it. Ooh, looky. Look at, come on, y'all, look at that. Look at, drip. Y'all know that? Drip. Little drip. Look at that. Little drip. Look at that. Ooh, come on. Look at that. Looky. Ooh, man. Oh, man. Look at that. Got me a little drip.
Beautiful.
Come on. Look good now. Little bit of seasoning pop. My little seasoning pop. That's give you all that flavor pop right there. Little flavor pop. All right. My noodles are done. All right. So, look. We got the noodles. Boom. Turn it off. Everything comes off now. Let's stir it up. Bam. Look at that, y'all. All right. Here we go. Look at that mushroom gravy. I want y'all to see that. At home, 1/3 cup of flour, 2 cups of water. Let it thick. Mushrooms, garlic, a little bit of butter, a little bit of milk, okay? A little seasoning to add on top to pop, okay? All right, now here we go. Got my noodles. Noodles are perfect, y'all. Perfect noodles. What I'm gonna do right here, I'm gonna strain my noodles, all right? I'm gonna strain my noodles right here. All right, boom. Got my cold water right here. My noodles in. Bam. Noodles ready to go. All right, let's look at that. Got my cold noodles. Getting that strained up real fast. All right. Come with some cold water on top of that. All right, what I'm gonna do next, throw my noodles back inside my pan here. Everything's ready. Got my noodles right here. Everything's been strained. Now voila, about to do this. All right, here we go. Here we go. Look at that. Got me some noodles right there. That's all I need. About half a pan. All right, boom. I'm gonna season, lightly season. You can salt it. I'm gonna do some seasoning on mine. A little seasoning on mine. Now what I'm gonna do, woo, got my cheese. My cheese. Throw my cheese on that bad boy. I got my seasoning for the noodles. Got my 2 cheeses right here. Open this bad boy up right here. Got my dyed cheese. So I got my cheddar style. I like to use cheddar and mozzarella cheese on mine. Today I'm only gonna be able to use the cheddar that's all we got today. All right, I got my dyed cheese right here. Boom, boom, boom. Throw that up on top of that. All right, look at that. My dyed cheese right there. Then I got me some gravy. Ooh, baby, baby. Some gravy, baby. Oh, man, look at that gravy, baby. Hey, baby, look good on it, girl.
Looks delicious.
My lady, my wife is here. She looking at this and said, man, I'm going on a date tonight with my lady, making her some good food. Come on now, y'all. All y'all men out there, all my fellas out there, look at that. Oh, man. Come on. Ooh, looky. Come on. Come on. That's what I'm talking about. Look good, don't it? Look at that. Look good, baby? Look like mac and cheese. Look like mac and cheese, yeah. Come on. Got the mac and cheese all up on there. Thanksgiving coming up soon. You know, whatever y'all doing, man, it's got some good holiday time, especially during the holiday season. You can't go wrong mac and cheese. Nice Sunday, Saturday evening dinner for the family. Or even during the week, you can make this thing in minutes, y'all. Just like that. Look at that. All right. Almost done. Got my mac and cheese right here. I'm going to put that in the oven for about 30 minutes, okay? 30 minutes, 350. All right. Next thing I got, y'all, Better Chew. Some people asking me, say, man, Chef Chew, what you do? I make the Better Chew fried chicken. I make chicken that look like chicken, tastes like chicken, but guess what? It ain't chicken. Crispy on the outside and white in the middle. This right here, man, be bringing it right to Vallejo. Actually, at the end of this month, October, you can go online and Eat Better Chew. Eat Better Chew. You'll be able to buy this locally right here in Vallejo. Again, the next 10, 15 days, we're launching a website. You can go online, Eat Better Chew, and get the vegan fried chicken right here in Vallejo. Again, all I do is this. Put this bad boy, cut it up just like that. We make this product right here in Vallejo, y'all. Made locally, right here in Vallejo. Boom, put it on the top of the stove top right here. Look like chicken, crispy on the outside, white in the middle. Come on, y'all, look at the crispy chicken. I'm gonna throw a little spray on this bad boy. Come on, a little spray, come on. Just like that. Ooh, little spray right there, a little spray. All right, put that bad boy in the oven. Boom, in the oven, just like that. Got my oven, got that inside of there. Got my mac and cheese inside the oven, y'all. Come on, got my greens. Oh man, we made it, man. We made a good meal today, y'all. We made the vegan fried chicken. Got the vegan fried chicken in the oven. Got the 3 cheese mac and cheese. Come on now. Got the soul food greens. Come on now. Them greens is on them. Ooh, got them greens looking some kind of good, y'all. Come on, looking some kind of good. Boy, that boy about to mess the camera up with that thing now. Camera ain't gonna know what to do when it smell that. I'm telling y'all. So look, I want to encourage everybody out today that eating healthy, it's a journey. It ain't gonna be easy, but if you put your mind to it, you put your heart into it, it can be affordable, it can definitely be delicious, and it's also nutritious. So look, y'all, my name is Chef Chew. I love y'all out there. Check us out, again, eatbetterchew.com. We're gonna have the recipe for everybody to be able to learn how to do this right at home. And we're gonna be having some more videos. Check me out on Instagram at Better Chew. Also, you can check my Instagram at Chef Chew as well. And you can check me out as we do more cooking education. But we love y'all out there. Stay strong during this pandemic. Don't give up. Keep hope alive. And again, my name is Chef Chew. And as I always say, gonna give you something to chew on.
Thank you so much, Chef Chu, for welcoming us into your kitchen. That was so much fun, and I can't wait to try these recipes out. We'll be sending you the recipes out via email, so stay tuned and check your inbox for them. As a reminder that if you're one of the first 16 participants who is a Vallejo resident, you will receive a free vegan cookbook. To make sure you can receive your cookbook, please make sure you have filled out the survey using the link shared in the chat box. Next up, we want to introduce to you Dr. Melissa Mandala, a Filipina, California native and a board-certified family medicine physician. She obtained her medical degree from Chicago Medical School and completed her family medicine residency in addition to a fellowship in lifestyle medicine, both from Loma Linda University. Dr. Mandala empowers her patients to make positive lifestyle changes and develops disease-specific lifestyle recommendations, which has helped her patients with type 2 diabetes, hypertension, and even stage 3 chronic kidney disease. Dr. Mandala brings evidence-based methods to help combat chronic disease and help uplift potential barriers through self-empowerment and self-compassion. Today, we're happy to have Dr. Mandala with us, and she'll be answering all your questions live after her presentation. So be sure to utilize the Q&A box below and send us all your questions. Now, without further ado, please join me in welcoming Dr. Melissa Mandala.
Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Melissa and I'm glad to be back with you in Vallejo virtually. It's been a year and I just want to share a little bit more about lifestyle medicine and get connected with you again. I know you've been all kind of tired and even overwhelmed during this COVID season. So I hope you can have a listening ear and open mind and get engaged with this lifestyle medicine, what this means to you and your health and your family. So I'm going to share my screen here. So I am here visiting again through the wavelengths of Dr. Lifestyle, but also the American College of Lifestyle Medicine and the Institute of Plant-Based Medicine. I am happy to represent them and also share with you why food is medicine. But let's start first by this important statistics. So this is chronic disease. There's definitely not just a chronic disease epidemic that we've seen over the years just increase over the last decade, but it's actually very, very costly. So the US actually is spending $3.3 trillion annually. And this goes higher and higher through the years. It's 90% of these costs are because of people getting sick and more sick going through the hospital and ER and really not finding the root causes of disease. And there are so many other factors that really relate to why we get sick: diabetes, high cholesterol, cardiac issues, asthma. And so we're going to dive deep and go into the root causes. So once again, let me give you a quick reminder that 6 in 10 people in the US have chronic disease. And that means basically 4 in 10 have 2 or more. So that's heart disease, cancer, chronic lung disease, stroke, Alzheimer's, diabetes, and chronic kidney disease. So I'm sure you know someone in your family, your friend circles who've had one of these diseases. It's super common. And when I see them in the clinic or in the hospital, it just happens to be that sometimes you get all of their organs affected because of an unhealthy lifestyle. Once you get brain damage, for example, in the stroke or Alzheimer's disease, that probably means they also have some heart disease, or that also means they probably have a sick kidney. So what is lifestyle medicine? We look at the key factors of health, and we really want to prevent, reverse, and treat disease when we can. And so nutrition is key. So what you eat. So we know we're all trying to embrace food here, but especially the plants, foods that are dense with nutrients, antioxidants, and minerals that heal the body and that really promote disease. And these really boost up our immune system. And sleep is equally important. So there are so many people who are deprived of sleep because they're just disrupted because of their screens, because of stress, or because of bad habits. And so I always like to encourage at least 7 to 8 to 9 hours of sleep, and don't ignore that, because that can also lead to other illnesses. So exercise is a key component because that keeps us moving. Instead of sitting on the couch, we're able to move and groove, and that's a routine. Building up these habits over a lifetime is important. So 30 minutes of exercise in a day is ideal. You can do 150 minutes over a course of a week, and it can just be simple walking. It can be dance exercise. It can be anything that keeps you going and that gives you joy at the same time. And yes, let's not forget our substance abuse. So now, because of COVID, there's triple the rates of depression, anxiety, but also substance use when it comes to tobacco and alcohol and vaping and all these other recreational drugs. These are very harmful to our health. It can be very, very addictive. And we do know that still that smoking is the #1 cause of lung cancer, and also preventable. If we just stop smoking, we can live a longer life with less damage to our heart, our kidneys, our liver, all sorts of chronic conditions. And remember, we also get to smell better, right? So find what really matters to you. If this is for your family, if this is for your grandchildren, or just wanting to feel better, look younger, and have more energy. And then once again, stress management. We all got to know what our emotions do to our health. Sometimes we can have negative emotions that overwhelm us, that really become toxic. So how can we just let go and cope and breathe through that? And then healthy relationships. So healthy relationships, we got to get reminded that we got to get engaged, connect with our friends and family, and really bounce back. This has been, once again, a really trying time. How do we laugh about it? How do we share our struggles and just be real and genuine and positive? So once again, here's a whole food plant-based diagram of what a plate can look like. I like to use this because this is not just part of the American Lifestyle College of Lifestyle Medicine, but this is highly recommended in other countries and throughout the world. That plant predominant is really important for us. The American Cancer Association, the American Heart Association, and Diabetes Association really promotes that plants have an opportunity to minimize disease by starting with lifestyle medicine first. And so this means fruits, vegetables, beans, nuts, and seeds. And you'll see that half of it is all the colors of the rainbow, right? You got your various vegetables there and fruits, and the other quarter is your plant protein. So yes, there's no meat or chicken or beef on there, but you can get them equally from nuts and seeds, edamame and tofu and tempeh, all my favorites. And then the whole grains is the other quarter. So that's quinoa and barley and brown rice and everything in between when it comes to the whole grain, not the refined white grain. And here you go. Here's nutrients. So there's a lot of myths out there. Social media, the news, magazines. You can Google things and you might get a little confused or even overwhelmed. So let's go over this. So calcium. Where do we get calcium? And most people think it's only from cow's milk. And really, it's not just cow's milk or cheese or dairy, but really, you look at the whole package of where calcium comes from. Let's start, because plants are the original source of calcium. And they really are the ones that provide calcium to the cow. And so why not go deeper into the root of where the calcium comes from? And it's pure and it comes from the ground. So that's a soybean, broccoli, and collard greens. These are some examples. These have high amounts of calcium. We have also in almond milk, so 450 milligrams just from 1 cup of almond milk alone. So you can get that from soy, almond milk. I know there's oat milk out there too. There's some other creative things that is becoming more available. You can make this from home too. So I always encourage you to try to find plant-based calcium. And remember that you need 1,000 milligrams for adults and children age 4 and up. So this is a good diagram here. Now, let's talk about another myth. So we hear this all the time, that carbs are bad, bad, bad. Or some people are carb lovers. And I would say, why not love the carbs that come from whole foods? And so that's still cut oats, that's a fruit or a vegetable. And remember that not all carbs are created equal. So when you look at a plain bagel, it's a lot different. It's refined, it's processed, there's additives, there's salt, there's sugar and oil. But also look at the comparison on this table. Plain bagel is 350 calories compared to still cut oats, which is 150. there is a good amount of carbohydrates equally, but a little bit more in the bagel. But more importantly, there's less fiber in the bagel, and only 4 grams of fiber. That means double the amount, in the still cut oats. So you can find a lot of fiber in your whole foods. And so understand that a fruit or vegetable is a carbohydrate, but it's a complex carb. That means it's attached to other nutrients such as fiber, such as antioxidants and minerals that can feed your gut and your microbiome. Unlike a processed food like white bread, white pasta, and white rice. I think about all of those things and compare it to something that has a darker pigmentation. And those are the things you want to look for. And don't worry, you can find these that are, if you grow them in your backyard, or if you can find them at your local grocery store, if it's Aldi. I know I've been to the $1.99 store and they had broccoli and beans and very affordable options there. But first, you're going to learn how to cook, and I'm sure you're going to learn how to cook in this session as we go through the month of this Food Empowerment Fest. So check them out too with my local people in Vallejo. So myth and facts. So you want to know the difference. For protein, remember that you don't want to overconsume protein, because a lot of people do. They consume too much. We really want only 46 grams in a women and 56 grams for a male. So that's the daily amount of recommendations by the health government, their dietary guidelines in 2015. But the average adult person is actually doubling that or even more. So remember that you don't need that much protein, you need more fiber. And there's about 96% of our population, up to 97, really are deprived of fiber. And that's a big issue because we are lacking the nutrients that can really promote health. So this is the pros versus cons. Plant protein versus animal protein. This is a good description. Look at this. This is a nice cartoon to show that another variety. You can get 18 grams of protein in red lentils, and even up to black beans and spinach, 5 grams. So those are high amounts. And then people think, well, I gotta have more animal protein. But look at your egg. There's 6 grams, 20 grams in your salmon and your steak. There is a little bit more, but it's also attached to cholesterol. They are the source. Remember, animal protein is the source of cholesterol, saturated fat. They have no fiber, and they're a lot higher in calories. Plant protein, however, has all those phytonutrients. They're low fat profile and literally no cholesterol. So extra bonus. Remember, don't get trapped into the myths. One important thing when you're trying to eat healthier, we know that our behaviors are really tied into why we choose what we eat and why food is pleasurable. And let's look at this addiction triangle. I know this is a smoking diagram, but really we can use it about food because we all have a relationship with food. It is a substance that either gives us that pleasure or a reward, or calms us down. And that's what we see in this triangle here. So one side is just the habit. That means we are just have this ritual where maybe it's going to the kitchen or going to the break room, or right after the afternoon hour, we have that habit. When our energy goes down, we gotta load some snack in there, and that's really just built over time. Emotional aspect is it's a psychological, I would say, reward. Some people just feel more at ease. It eases their depression, anxiety, so they are actually just over consuming more than they are actually thinking about what they're eating. And then there's a physical neurochemical component, and that's your dopamine and epinephrine and serotonin, all these hormones in your brain that gets stimulated when people either smoke or eat or have sugar or additives. So people get trapped in that reward cycle, but they don't realize that substance is still very, very dangerous and harmful, and that causes disease. So how do we get out of that triangle? How do we release ourselves and get out of the trap and just feel the opportunity and the freedom and the joy of eating healthier foods? I say first, let's be smart and think about a SMART goal. So one is getting a specific goal in mind. So that means it's measurable, attainable, relevant, and time bound. So that's just an acronym that's fancy, but really it just means think about what you can start today and how often and how much and for how long. So an example of that is I'm going to add one berry, one serving of berries into maybe my oatmeal every day. And that can be a goal, or it can be an every other day goal, and you work your way up. Same thing with walking and exercise. You can say 5 minutes every day after I eat, and that's a really good goal because you're releasing free insulin and you're able to recharge yourself, have a better mood. So there's so many benefits for exercising right after meals. So what do you tell yourself? You're going to say 5 minutes every day after meals. And you know what? And that's a very SMART goal because that's the first step. The smartest goal is the goal that you'll keep, and the goal that you can keep moving on to bigger goals and then actually keep for a lifetime. So that's what we call a lifestyle medicine. So here's a little bit more about me. I do have my personal journey of why I chose lifestyle medicine and my own health journey. Even my husband, Micah, he's not here, but he's here in spirit, and he's a rheumatologist. And once again, I'm a family medicine doctor, and I'm available to help you. If you want to email me, if you want to do any telemedicine visits, you can go ahead and see me and follow me on Instagram, Facebook, I have a YouTube, and a website here. So here's my information that you can find me. And I'm also working alongside Institute of Plant-Based Medicine at this time. And they're a great multi-specialty clinic with basically your GI doctors, cardiologists, and other registered dietitians who are awesome, who can partner up with you. All right, take care.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Melissa Mandala, for that amazing presentation. We are so excited to have her join us here to answer all of our plant-based health questions. So if you have any questions, please drop them in the Q&A box right now. While everyone is typing, let's get started, and please give a warm welcome to Dr. Melissa Mandala. Hi.
Erica, it's a pleasure to be here, and I'm excited to support this movement, this community. It's a pleasure to be back for a second time, and I'm happy to answer questions. I know there's a Q&A box. I have a list of questions here, and it's World Mental Health Day, so this is a special time for us to just really appreciate how our mental health equals our gut health, and really knowing that there's so many neurochemicals, neurotoxins. There's about 30 around our gut, and about actually 5 million nerves that run down our digestive system. And so it's a very fascinating concept that we really need to recognize, that our mental health is really related to what we do. So that means how we eat and the types of foods we eat. So I just wanted to throw that in there before we jump into the Q&A.
Absolutely, and I kind of want to play on that question as well. So I'm very curious, when we talk about gut health and mental health and all these things coming together, when you switch to a more plant-based vegan diet, what are some of the benefits that a person might notice after they switch or as they're switching?
Yes, absolutely. So it happens in phases, which is beautiful, because automatically people have better mood, increased energy, and just more, I would say, resilience to when, for example, when you're stressed out, you actually feel like you can cope with it better, not just because you went a medication or saw your behavioral therapist, but because the gut health, there's so many things. For example, with plants, it really activates the healthy microbiome. And so that's just less inflammation in your body, in your brain. And so when you eat processed foods, particularly, it's called, it's a fancy word, arachidonic acid. And so that's all in processed foods. And that actually makes your brain just offset into an inflammation cascade where it sets on fire. But when you eat the fiber-rich foods, so the fiber-rich foods, what you think about it is it actually keeps your microbiome intact. When you've probably heard of something leaky gut is basically because all these channels begin to open up because of the processed foods. But when you have fiber-rich foods, they're sealed, and so that's healthy. If they're open, that means all the leaking of the actual, what we call the inflammatory chemicals spread out to every single organ in your body. So we always want to make sure when it comes to your gut health, you're eating healthy foods, because you can have lesser rates of depression, anxiety, even the effects and symptoms of PTSD, and you're actually able to substitute the healthy behaviors because you're consuming healthier food. So it's a very complex topic. There's so many studies on this, but I wanted to answer that more directly, and I probably didn't, but it's such a passion of mine. So just let me know if there's anything else you want me to build upon, or just go to the question.
Yeah, so I think one of the questions that has come in was around what are some carbs that people with diabetes can eat?
Yeah, so great question. So the high carb, low carb, people get fixated on that because they think a fruit or a vegetable is carb, and it is a carb, but it's a healthy carb. But there's unhealthy carbs too. There's the packaged crackers, there's the packaged chips, and all those things. A healthy carb is, you have nothing to fear when it comes to the basics: fruits, vegetables, beans, nuts, and seeds. That's all constant. And I recommend about 5 vegetables a day, 5 fruits a day, and then 2 servings of beans or lentils a day. So I know that's a lot, but those are servings, so handfuls. And you can make a dish, you can make a salad, you can make a bean stew, but you're constantly able to feed your gut healthy foods, and so your sugars won't go up and down. Your sugars actually will stabilize. And then the problem with diabetes is not just the sugar, but it's also the fat, the animal fat, the cholesterol, and that animal fat is known to actually destroy the insulin receptors in your pancreas, and that means you're actually stimulating more insulin growth factors that promote more cancer, more chronic disease. And so you really want to avoid the animal fat and increase the fruits and the vegetables, beans, nuts, and seeds.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Our next question comes from Linda. She says, my husband was borderline diabetic and finally went vegan several years ago. His numbers just kept going up. He runs and walks and is very active. Right now, he's full on diabetic. What else can he do to bring his numbers down?
Hi, Linda. Great question. I think that's an honest question. And I know that first we always have to look at the types of foods you're eating. And, there's a vegan diet and there's a plant-based diet. And some vegans just forget that all they're eating is maybe potatoes and fries and just grains, but they forget that they need the balance of the other diverse foods that are nutrient dense. So I would probably pay very careful attention to that. Sometimes you also have to look, I would advise if you asking your doctor if he may be having type 1 or type 1.5, which is a more of an autoimmune component, but still can be helped with a plant-based diet, but there might be something else going on. So I would have your doctor look deeper into that.
Absolutely. So one of our next questions is, speaking on, because you brought up a lot about different packaged foods, nowadays vegan foods are processed too. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's hard because we want to have, Americans are still looking for convenient foods, packaged prepped foods, because our lifestyle, our society is go, 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 go. I know with COVID, it's almost a blessing in a disguise that we're able to kind of just sit and cook and do things differently. But ultra processed foods are extremely high in the past decades, up to 80%. And we're hyper processing foods that, maybe they're from a pea protein or they are from wheat, but then it extracts all the healthy nutrients that it could possibly get from just getting a fresh carrot or something that you can actually build and make and see with your own eyes. And those are the things I trust, the things that you can see and understand to read labels. There are better options out there that are maybe less processed and definitely made by plants, but it's not the ideal. Those are what I consider yellow light foods. So the green light are the whole food, plant-based foods where you can have as much as you want. The yellow light are the foods that are processed, that are plant-based, and the red light are the things I just completely try to minimize and eliminate, are the animal products and dairy products and processed foods that are animal-based.
Absolutely. We're down to our last two questions. The second to last question is from Sarah. Why shouldn't I drink cow's milk? Someone told me that their nutritionist said that milk is good for us to drink. So the main question is, why shouldn't I drink cow's milk?
Yeah, thank you for that question. I think that's a common question that we all get in either family, friends, the hospital, the doctors. And I would say the hardest part is that most nutritionists, doctors, people in healthcare, they don't, even though they study the science and maybe some of the nutrition, they're not really looking at the all the studies from even the population studies based on, if you look this up, if you go look at the blue zones and then big studies like the Adventist studies. But the reason why is because they're just myths and advertising. If you actually look from and I talked about it earlier, is looking at the cow's milk versus the content found in plants. The cow's milk is dangerous because it has lactose, and lactose, about 70 to 80% are lactose intolerant or sensitive, even though they have a normal blood test. And so our gut was actually not created to eat that. Imagine as humans, we eat or drink breast milk, and that's probably enough, but we're actually consuming another animal type of milk, and it has tons of hormones that are actually create more hormone imbalance in us. It actually has more antibiotics that destroy our gut. And it has the other one, whey and casein. So whey and casein are animal proteins, and that actually stimulates more chronic disease. If you look at patients, even my own patients who are vegan and vegetarian, they still have problems with chronic disease, meaning the vegetarians, because they still are exposed to the dairy products. So I see them still struggle with acne, still struggle with their diabetes and high cholesterol and hypertension. But when you eliminate some of the dairy products as much as you can, you still see wonderful benefits.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for that. I think that was very informative and illuminating on that as well. And our last question is from Miss Linda. She was talking about how, in terms of gut health, she's had her gut bacteria analyzed several times by two companies, and she only eats vegan for many years, and she's currently a whole foods vegan. So she's wondering why her gut health still needs so much work as a several-year vegan and as a whole food vegan.
Yeah, thank you again. That's a very important question. And I would say you have to do a really deep, comprehensive history of your life because sometimes it can be the overconsumption of antibiotics or medications, and that can really wipe up your gut. Sometimes there's issues of past behaviors when it comes to being overly stressed. So I don't know what your actual diagnosis with your doctor. It can be a GI specialist you're seeing or a plant-based doctor like me, but they would have to really analyze your symptoms, your history, because even the microbiome test, it depends what that test is. You might have something like IBS or IBD or SIBO. There's so many diseases in that spectrum that need to be looked at carefully. And so I just encourage you to reach out to, I'm happy to help. If you're in California, just contact me. And if I don't have the answers, I have plenty of friends here who are specialists and dietitians that can also partner with you and help you. I hope you feel much better soon.
Dr. Melissa, thank you so much for your time today and for joining us. We sincerely appreciate you and your expertise. And thank you so much again for coming back for your second year at the Vallejo Healthy Food Festival.
Thank you. It's been a joy. Enjoy your day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
So thank you everyone for submitting those questions. That was so much fun to have Dr. Melissa Mandala here with us and share her expertise with us. Now moving on to the entertainment piece for today. We have a special performance by Chef Sarah, or Auntie Sarah, of the Veg Hub. Chef Sarah has worked with Chef Chu for many years, and she is a New York native and has been a regular performance at past Vallejo Healthy Food Fest events and has kept us entertained with her beautiful voice and engaging persona. If you have never heard her perform, Chef Sarah is always guaranteed to bring the house down with her soulful singing and funny quips. We hope you enjoy her performances today and feel free to share your thoughts in the Q&A box. Now, please welcome into your home, Chef Sarah and friends.
So a little bit of my story do that all day, but then I started to sound really bad and feel really bad. So I went to the doctor and I found out, and they put a little camera in my throat, and they saw that I had a polyp on my vocal cords. So it wasn't cancerous, but it can become cancerous over the years. And so my doctor said, do not say more than hi or bye. But then I would lose my job, I would lose my contract, and I would lose my money. So all I said was, okay, doctor. I walked out with my supervisor, and she had a master's in public health. So she said, Sarah, I need you to eliminate the meat in your diet. And do you remember where I said I was teaching? Where was I teaching again? Where was I teaching again? South Korea. South Korea, not North Korea, but I would not be here. So I went to South Korea, and you know how you have Korean barbecue? It's just barbecue over there. It's like on every corner. And it's delicious, but it's not nutritious. So she told me to stop eating it, and I was like, well, I had my tonsils out before. It was horrible. I didn't want surgery. And so I stopped eating meat. 4 to 6 months later, I went back to New York, where I'm from, and I went to a new doctor, and they had to give me a checkup on my throat for pre-surgery checkup, because I knew I had to get surgery, because I saw what was on my throat. And they turned around, and they looked at the camera, which was behind me, and they came forward, and they said, everything looks good. I said, Some people live for the fortune. Some people live for the fame. Some people live for the power, yeah. Some people live just to play the game. And some people think that the physical things we find was
to show Sarah and her bandmates for that spectacular performance. That was so much fun, and I'm glad you all could have worked with us today. I know I was singing along on mute myself. For our next video, we have Lauren Ornelas, a proud Chicanx and the founder and president of Food Empowerment Project, or FEP for short, the organization behind this Vallejo Healthy Food Fest. Lauren has been active in the animal rights movement since 1987 and founded FEP 20 years later in 2007 to showcase how we can create a more just and sustainable world by recognizing the power of one's food choices. She has investigated factory farms, run consumer campaigns, and worked with activists nationwide. She has run many successful corporate campaigns and is currently spearheading efforts to stop profit-driven corporations who make it harder for communities like Vallejo to have access to healthy foods and perpetuate food apartheid. Now, today, Food Empowerment Project hosts the Vallejo Healthy Food Festival each year to amplify the voices of Vallejoans and to show that we are coming together to create unique solutions within our community. The goal of this event is to create enthusiasm to demand change and to share with everyone that healthy food is not only healthy and delicious, but should be accessible in Vallejo, all while spotlighting the beauty and diversity of Vallejo. And now here to talk to us about FEP's work in Vallejo, please welcome Lauren Ornelas.
Everyone. I'm Lauren Ornelas. I'm the founder of Food Empowerment Project. Thank you so much for coming and listening in on our Vallejo Healthy Food Fest this year. As I'm sure you know, we've had to do it differently this year due to COVID-19, but we wanted to make sure that we still were able to celebrate the beautiful community of Vallejo. Not sure if this is your first food fest with us, or your third, or your fourth, or your fifth, but we're really glad to have you here. I just wanted to give a little bit of background and some of the work that we've been doing in the community, as well as why we're doing it and what we see as some of the next steps. So, although many of you who live in Vallejo are very familiar with the problem with lack of access to healthy foods, this is a problem that takes place not only in Vallejo, not only in the United States, but around the globe. And it's primarily an issue that impacts Black, Brown, and Indigenous communities. So we have been taking a look at these issues in Northern California, and we were asked a number of years ago by one of the founding members of the Black Panther Party, David Hilliard, to take a look at what was happening where he lived. I had connected with him to learn more about the Black Panther Party's free breakfast program, and in turn told him about our work. He asked if we could take a look to see what was happening there in terms of lack of access to healthy foods. That's really why we came to Vallejo. From there, we connected with other activists in the area to make sure that our work would be valuable to them, and we found out it would be. So we joined up with organizations such as Vallejo People's Garden to try to take a look at what access to healthy food look like in the community. And we first did this by doing little focus groups to try to make sure that the fruits and vegetables and other foods that we would be surveying would actually be culturally appropriate. As I'm sure many of you know, Vallejo is incredibly diverse and represents the Black, Filipinx, and Latinx community members. And so we increased the various types of fruits and vegetables as part of our survey sheet. And so what we did is we gathered volunteers, Vallejo People's Garden collected some as well. And we actually surveyed every establishment that sold food except for restaurants and fast food. So we surveyed the grocery stores, the convenience stores, and liquor stores. And what you can see here is just a sample of the survey tool. The survey tool actually ended up being quite long, but this just gives you an idea of some of the fruits that we surveyed for in the community. After we collected all the data, we put out our report highlighting what we found in our survey results. And we shared this information and our reports with policymakers from the city council up to our federal legislators. And this report is available to you. If you live in Vallejo, we'd be happy to mail you a copy in English or in Spanish. They are also available on our website at foodispower.org. But some of our findings we found, and again, if you live in the community, you're probably very familiar with this, that the vast majority of liquor stores and convenience stores are in the low-income communities, predominantly the Black and Brown communities, where you have 88% of all the liquor stores and 71% of all the convenience stores in the low income communities. This area also has very few grocery stores. So you can see here in this pie chart that 46% of the convenience stores and 29% of liquor stores is actually where people living in these communities have to get their food from. Now, if you look at the higher income area pie chart, you can actually still see, though, that the community as a whole doesn't have a whole lot of grocery stores, but it's far worse in the Black and Brown communities than any of the other ones. Now, we also looked at the availability of meat and dairy alternatives. And we did this because we know that one, a diet high in fruits and vegetables is better for your health. But we also would like people to be able to choose if they want to go vegan or not, if they want to not participate in the suffering of non human animals. And again, as a vegan organization, this little calf represents why we encourage people to not consume any type of animal products. But we also wanted to point out a couple of other things. One is that if you can see here, very few locations had access to meat and dairy alternatives. And although a lot of people call what happens in these communities food deserts or things such as that, we kind of agree more with those who want us to call it what it righteously should be called, which is food apartheid. So that is what we call it. And I think that dairy really highlights why we talk about this, because in our communities, in Black and Brown Indigenous communities, many times what's available to us is actually cow or goat milk. And for those of us like myself, who's a very proud Chicana, so I'm Mexican, Columbus actually brought cows over on the fourth voyage. And so it's not something that my ancestors normally drink. It wasn't something that was normal to our diets. It wasn't something that we had available to us. So that's why many of us are what some people call lactose intolerant. And Food Empowerment Project isn't a fan of that term because once again, it puts the onus on Black and Brown people as if there's something wrong with us because we don't digest the milk of another species. When in fact, it's a product of colonization, and it's a product of colonization that we're still dealing with today. So when these locations don't have these dairy alternatives, what's happening is that we're being forced to drink cow's milk or goat's milk, which is actually going to make us sick. So we do feel like we need to draw these connections and show that this lack of access to fresh fruits and vegetables, which is good for our health, and the lack of alternatives to cow milk, all it's doing is negatively impacting our health. It's negatively impacting the health of Black and Brown people in the communities and around the world. So one of the other things we recognized when we started doing our work in Vallejo, and some of you are probably very familiar with this because you've lived it, is that there's a Safeway location in downtown where senior living facilities were, as well as a lot of Black and Brown people living there. And a Safeway had been based downtown. They moved from that location, they relocated miles away. And when they left that location, they put what's called a restrictive deed on their former property, preventing any grocery store from moving in for 15 years, which deprived that community from having a grocery store. So this is an effort that we have taken nationwide, trying to get Safeway to change this corrupt, inhumane, and unjust policy. We have a petition on our website that we would love for you to sign. And if you have any type of recollection about this or anything you could write or do a video and share with us, we'd love to share that with that corporation as well. So after we did our report, we then followed up in focus groups. We did 7 focus groups in Vallejo with the Filipinx community, Black community. One we did in Spanish and one we did with the homeless. We did these focus groups. We fed everybody a vegan meal and we paid everybody $50 for their time. And we released our report, again, sharing it with all policymakers. And what we found in this report was similar to what we've seen before, which is one of the biggest barriers to people being able to eat healthy and being able to access fresh food is actually the cost of it, which is why we've really pushed towards supporting living wages, whether it be from a local level to corporate levels, but all living wages to make sure there's some equity. Because for people to be able to eat healthy, they have to be able to afford the food. As an organization that works on farm worker justice issues as well, we know that we don't need that produce getting any cheaper. We need more equity. We need everybody to be able to have living wages and to be able to afford the food. We also found that many people who were immigrants, who were living in the community, ate healthier from their home countries than they do here because they didn't want to buy things like tomato sauce. They rather use fresh tomatoes. In terms of our solutions, we really look to things like people growing their own food and supporting places like Vallejo People's Garden. We also really want to bring something like Mandela Grocery Cooperative to Vallejo. In fact, we did 3 community meetings, bringing one of the owners of Mandela to the community. We fed everybody a delicious vegan meal. But our goal is really to have something like Mandela's Worker Cooperative. And the reason why is because the workers own the business. They make the decisions on the profits, they make the decisions on the benefits that the community is going to get. And they also, this type of job provides skills. It provides entrepreneurial skills for anybody who works there for a lifetime. So we really want to see what happens in Vallejo. And in our focus groups, we had 100% support from everybody. Once they understood what a worker-owned cooperative was, they really wanted to be a part of something like that in the community. Our focus groups found people wanted to buy food locally. They wanted to have businesses that were local. So, our hope now is moving forward, and we want to work with all of you, is to see more people being able to grow their own food, as well as having something like a worker-owned cooperative. So the money that's is spent in the community, is invested back into the community, and we can help the community thrive. So as always, we welcome any of your questions, your feedback, and we definitely want you to get involved because we know that we can help Vallejo turn the corner on having more access to healthy foods, having better health in the community if we all work together. And we thank all of you so much for the time and effort you have put with us and the surveying, the focus groups, and trying to get Mandela to come to the community. And I guess that's it. We hope you really enjoy yourself at the rest of the festival. And we do hope to be able to do it in person next year. If not, we'll see you online next year. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lauren, for those words of inspiration and reminding us to continue to fight for healthy foods in all of our communities. Thank you for your wisdom and for all you're doing at FEP to make events like this one a reality for the communities that need it most. Last but not least, we would like to showcase to you last year's Vallejo Healthy Food Festival. Last year, we had the opportunity to witness in person the beautiful dancing, eat so many flavorful foods from so many different cultures, and we had so many booths from the Vallejo community, like Vallejo People's Garden, handing out free seeds to everyone who came by. We had so much fun last year, so now please join me in taking a walk down memory lane to the 2019 Vallejo Healthy Food Festival.
Hi everyone, I'm Lauren Nellis and I'm the founder and executive director of Food Empowerment Project. We really just wanted to thank you all so much for coming out, and we definitely want you to check out all the delicious vegan food that is here.
We'll try once for my mom. Okay. Thank you.
Food Empowerment Project is a unique organization because we're looking at it from a holistic and connected perspective. Vegan for the animals for ethical reasons. We want people who have access to healthy foods to go vegan. In addition to that, we are looking at the fact that not everybody has access to healthy foods.
The Food Empowerment Project is bringing awareness to what it means to be plant-based, also awareness of food justice, food access issues, and being a voice for those that typically don't have a voice.
One of my inspirations for starting to do the Vallejo Healthy Food Fest was really to celebrate the community.
The Vallejo Healthy Food Fest is important because it allows us to do outreach in the community and teach folks about organic gardening.
Eating healthy to me means giving the earth its respect. It's great to spread the message of eating healthy, plant-based food.
A lot of people have expressed how important this is and that they're so happy and grateful that this is happening. People actively talking about making change for the environment, for our bodies, for the community,
We really wanted to highlight the community and show everybody how vibrant it was, but also to be able to talk about the lack of access to healthy foods here in a way that the community could be a part of the conversation, as well as have different vegan cooking demos going on by people who are from the community.
Food Empowerment Project is quite a new concept for me because I come from a medical background. Their activity would contribute to just so much community health benefits. So if we work together with the Food Empowerment Project through medicine and through just healthcare in general, I can foresee a lot of good things down the road.
So I think it's going to be something that's going to be a community effort, not something that people can do on their own sometimes. You need people that care.
That they have the opportunity to experience this and have conversations with people leading in the movement and bringing them into it as well is just very empowering. So people have expressed a lot of gratitude that it's here for them to participate in.
If food empowerment achieves its goals in the community, then I think it means that they have actually transformed the community, changing the minds and the hearts of people and realizing that when they see an animal, not just looking at it as maybe just a pet or food, but actually just as something that is sacred.
I believe that Food Empowerment Project is achieving its goal. Just by being here another year, people are glad that we're back, hugging, embracing, signing up for the newsletter. So people are still at it. We have people that I never met before, so the goals are being achieved.
People can volunteer, they can donate their money, they can donate their time, but more than anything, we want people to eat their ethics and really look at what they're eating as a responsibility to help create a better world.
Thank you so much for taking that trip down memory lane to see how important this event is for our community. As a final reminder that if you are one of the first 16 Vallejo resident attendees, we will be giving you a free vegan cookbook. If you haven't already done so, please fill out the survey using the link shared in the chat box. Now that we are coming to the end of today's event, we're going to bring the Food Empowerment Project team on screen to answer all the questions you have been sending to us throughout the event. Please send us any other questions you may have now through the Q&A box that's located at the bottom of your screen, and we will do our best to get through as many of them as possible before we run out of time. And now, while we give you a minute to post your questions, I'm going to turn it over to FEP's Executive Director, Sharanya, to say a few words.
Thank you, Erica. Thank you everyone for being here today. As Erica said, my name is Sharanya Krishna Prasad and I'm the Executive Director of Food Empowerment Project. On behalf of our organization, I want to thank you all for attending today's event and for your support of FEP's work, particularly in Vallejo. When we decided to make this event virtual, none of us were sure of how we could pull it off, but what you saw today was truly a team effort behind the scenes. I first want to thank Erica Hazel for doing such an amazing job emceeing the event this year. And it was her idea to spread the event out over 3 weekends. And thank you so much, Erica, for your ideas, energy, and enthusiasm throughout the program. Ethan Eldrith, our web content and database manager, is the wizard behind all the technology we use to create today's videos and captions. Ethan's an invaluable member of the team, and I'm relieved and grateful that he's here to help with all the technical logistics. Thank you, Ethan. Our communications and marketing manager, Erica Galera, helped promote the event online, on social media, and with the media. In the time leading up to the event, she also worked closely with Erica and Ethan to rehearse and ensure that this event went smoothly. Thank you, Erica. You've already met Lauren Ornelas, but I cannot exclude her from being mentioned. Lauren founded Food Empowerment Project and has led our programs, including our work in Vallejo, since the beginning. Her visionary thinking has made our organization what it is today, and I'm grateful for Lauren every day. Thank you for everything, Lauren. I hope you all enjoyed this year's virtual Vallejo Healthy Food Fest and that you will join us again next year, either in person or virtually. And I hope you and your family stay happy, healthy, and safe. Thank you.
Thank you so much for those words, Sharanya. And now it is time to answer the Q&A questions we have received throughout the festival. And our first question, I believe, is for Lauren. Anonymous says, correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember Lauren saying that last time to avoid buying fruits and vegetables that are from Mexico because of worker conditions. They started reading labels and noticed that a lot of products from the market, including tortillas, are from Mexico. Should we avoid purchasing those too?
Thanks for the question. I think that maybe there is some confusion is the only thing I can think of. When we've talked specifically about products from Mexico, we've been specifically talking about Driscoll berries because of their campaign there. So we support boycotts called by farm workers themselves, and one of the boycotts is against Driscoll berries, and that has been called by the San Quintin farm workers in Mexico. So that's what I'm thinking of. We don't have any, active boycotts that we are calling for. We support the farm workers boycotts against Driscoll berries, Wendy's, and Publix, which is a grocery store in the Southeast. There are other campaigns and other boycotts that we might promote, but in terms of produce, we really specifically stick with what the farm workers are asking us for. But thanks for the question.
Thank you so much for that answer, Lauren. Our next question is from Debbie Reese. When I clicked on the Safeway petition link, the petition is for Albertsons. Does Albertsons now own Safeway? Does Albertsons also have the same practice? Thank you so much for calling out this shameful practice that has hurt a couple of generations of Vallejoans.
Thank you very, very much. I'm really glad that you are taking notice to this and you checked out the website, because we really need Vallejo and people from Vallejo to really call out this practice. You are the ones who understand personally what it has done to your community, and other people around the country need to know that they aren't alone and what's happening to them. And to answer your specific question, Albertsons did buy Safeway a number of years ago. And so the campaign, while here in our area, it's called Safeway. In other areas around the country, it's known as Albertsons or Acme or different names, but here they're known as Safeway. So it is a practice that Albertsons, under the different names, is doing and impacting across the country. So right now, Albertsons is doing this in Washington State in a community that is primarily farm workers. So it's really, really important, and we thank all of you in Vallejo who have spoken out, who have signed and shared our petition, and the election is coming up. Cannot encourage you more to please vote in the election. Contact your policymakers, because we've contacted them and we've tried to get them to pass an ordinance to prevent anything like that from happening in the community, and none of them have done anything. We've actually given them language to an ordinance that they could pass, and they haven't done it. So please speak out, speak to all the candidates, find out where they stand on this issue, and let us know, because we definitely want to work with anybody who's interested in making Vallejo more equitable and just when it comes to healthy food.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Lauren, for those answers, and thank you so much to everyone for your questions and for participating in today's event. Over the last 3 weekends, we have learned so much together and had a great time, all from the comfort of our homes. Today, we learned how to make some delicious vegan soul food, took a trip to last year's Vallejo Healthy Food Fest, and learned more about healthy plant-based diets, and were entertained with some beautiful singing. For me, as a lifelong Vallejoan, I have loved being able to connect with my community on an issue that means so much to me, which is healthy eating. As a 4-year vegan myself, I couldn't be happier to share this with my family, friends, and community. The importance of having access to healthy foods in cities and towns like Vallejo, as well as showing folks another side of veganism that they don't get to see, how yummy it is, how easy it is to prepare vegan dishes, and that the whole family can enjoy. As someone who has attended, volunteered, and now organizes the Vallejo Healthy Food Fest, it is with gratitude, and I want to say thank you to everyone for being here. I'm actually getting emotional because I just really want to thank the whole team, Sharanya, Ethan, Erica Galera, and Lauren. We have put countless hours of work into this festival, and I couldn't have asked for a better team to bring it all together, so thank you so much. I really appreciate all of you. On our last and final day of the Vallejo Healthy Food Fest, we want to thank you so much for joining us, and we have another thank you from Debbie Reese to Lauren, and she's asking about the ordinance language available publicly to use when writing our public officials. Lauren, I don't know if you wanted to answer that last question, but we can also get that answer to you, Debbie, as well later. But Lauren, if you had any ideas about that, is the ordinance language available publicly to use when writing to our public officials?
I'm more than happy if you want to contact us, email us, or reach out to us on social media. I'm more than happy to send you the ordinance language, and thank you for that.
No, thank you so much. The work that FEP does in our community is changing the lives for generations to come. So just as a reminder, if you're interested in viewing this event with Spanish captions, the video will be available 1 week after today. If you registered, please keep an eye on that email for when it will be available. We are so sad to say goodbye, but are so happy you could join us. We will be sending out a survey to everyone who registered. Your anonymous feedback will help us plan the content and format for future events that we hope you will attend. We will be in touch with those who want a free vegan cookbook and or a sunshine smoothie gift card, so please stay tuned. With the utmost gratitude and just so much joy and happiness, thank you so much. Have a great day, stay healthy, and stay safe. All right, bye-bye, everyone.